Hello gamers, let's talk Supermarket Sim. Since I just finished the game as it exists now, even though it's still an early release, Supermarket Sim is the newest work sim to hit the market, and honestly, it's been taking over my Twitch live list. Everyone I know is playing it, or at least talking about it. In this video, I'm going to share what I believe are the high points, as well as the low points, with as little fluff as possible. First of all, a quick overview so you have an idea of what's in the game, because there's quite a bit. You start with the small, but has a great personality shop with just 6 items to sell. As you grow, you can buy licenses, which expand your stock. You can hire cashiers to help you with the workload, as well as hiring workers to restock the interior of your shop. It's fun at first, but it can quickly become a little monotonous, as well as overwhelming with the amount of work that can go into it. Without mods, I spent maybe about 30 minutes in just one day restocking my shop, and that was before even opening it. I think I spent another 20 minutes at the end of the day helping restock. And that's kind of where my first negative mark steps in, but I don't want to get too ahead of myself just yet. In Supermarket Sim, there are also loans you can take out similar to other work sims, and you can control how long you want to pay those off. There are shop upgrades, which minimally expand your business, and there are a few furniture items you can buy, such as refrigerators, freezers, and shelves, which help you store all of your goods. You'll also need to pay your bills daily to keep your store running, and the more appliances and lights you have, the higher your bills will be. Oh joy. So let's jump into some pros. First off, this game is oddly addictive. Everyone I talk to about Supermarket Sim says they don't understand why it's so much fun. It just is. Job simulators can be really rewarding for a lot of different reasons, but this one just hits a lot of great beats with time invested versus what you get back from the game. The pacing is remarkable when the business is up and running. I really enjoy the way that you can customize your shop organizationally. A lot of other work simulators don't allow you to move things around, but you get a lot of control here. And there's apparently even more coming down the pipe. The colors and lighting are pleasant. I think the models move around well. And I think the visuals are quite well done considering that this is a fairly standard work simulator. That's not to say that it's not spectacular, but it's kind of par for the course for what you'd expect for something like this. So now let's talk cons, because I have a couple of gripes. And keep in mind, this game is still an early release, so I imagine a lot of my concerns will be mitigated in the future. As of right now, there's no auto pricing, which quickly became one of the biggest issues for me as I was expanding my shop. Prices change almost daily, and when my stock was just bread, pasta, oil, flour, sugar, and cereal, going through and adjusting prices really wasn't that big of a deal. Hell, even when I got my second license and got 6 more items, needing to adjust a few prices daily wasn't really that much of a problem. But when you have 50 plus items of stock and you're running around your store like a lunatic trying to price everything, that was kind of infuriating. There's no simple way to do that on the computer, which you have 24-hour access to. And I do think one of the big draws of Supermarket Sim is that the prices change. It makes it feel like a real-life store, because prices do go up and down throughout the week, and that should be something that either automatically gets done for you if you choose to toggle it, or should be something that you can control via the computer when you're ordering goods. Second, expansions for your store are ridiculously expensive for almost no extra space gained. And again, this is pretty standard practice for a simulator like this. They want to give you a risk-reward element, but the amount of space is so minuscule that it doesn't feel worth it sometimes. Plus, your storage is laughably small. I got bored waiting to gain money and eventually just used mods to make my experience smoother, because I was at day 100 and could barely afford a double-digit expansion. I will say, The fact that this game has mod capabilities does resolve a lot of my problems because I was able to find a few things that made my gaming easier. I game because life is already hard and I want to have a good time, not to struggle any further. So if you don't like mods, that's fine for you, but for me, I want ease in gaming. Speaking of using mods to fix problems, my third concern, and this addresses that stock problem from earlier, when you order things from the computer, those drop directly onto the street, which is fine in early game when you have 6 items. But again, when you have 50 plus in stock, it's almost maddening running from the street to the storeroom, to the shop, back to the storeroom, back to the street for 30 minutes before you can even open your building. It feels like a time waste, and maybe that's a part of the simulation experience, but it gets repetitive and mundane after a while. At least for me it did. And being in first person mode, it can get a little disorienting because of the shaky camera work. One mod that really changed my life was a send to storage mod, and it does what it says. It sends your items straight to your storage if you have a spot assigned for it. That should be something base game, just based off of how many items there are once you start expanding. My final concern is that the game is a little bit quiet, besides some computer click sounds and the cash register sound effects. This game could desperately use some ambient music, even if it's just some cheesy jazz radio like you usually hear in supermarkets, some type of copyright-free classical music, just to make everything sound less dead. Because the game does feel a little bit lifeless when there's no sounds besides some birds chirping. Even some TTS voice acting would breathe life into this game. Again, Supermarket Sim is still an early release, with a massive roadmap of updates on the horizon, so these complaints will likely get mitigated in the future. These are just my concerns as of right now. I'm really excited for store customization, be that wall painting, changing floor tiles, even signage and plants. I think would look cool as hell. And I really look forward to fresh fruits and vegetables since there are currently none in game besides one rogue bag of potatoes. Overall, this is a solid simulator, and I'm excited for what's coming next. Based on my experience with the game, how much I genuinely did love it despite some of the annoyances I had with it, I give it a 7.9 out of 10. I think it's almost there. A few quality of life adjustments like auto pricing and lump bills and rent, I think would make this a solid 8. What are your thoughts on Supermarket Sim? Are you as obsessed with it as I am? What are your complaints right now? What would you like to see fixed in the future? Thank you for watching, and if you like gaming content, be sure to check out some of my other videos, and if you want to see the pasta empire that I made in my Supermarket Sim, that video will be pinned in the description. Thank you for watching, and see you next time, gamers. Hey, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to click that like button. And if you want to see more, hit subscribe. Goodbye!